Hello, my Sagittarius friends. Let's talk about what 2026 has in store for you. And it is definitely a turning point year, not because everything suddenly changes overnight, but because you change how you relate to your life. This is a year where freedom stops meaning escape and starts meaning commitment to what truly matters. Long term outer planets move into new areas of your chart, activating your relationships, your happiness, your creativity, and your sense of purpose overall. And then your ruling planet Jupiter changes signs mid year, which always marks a noticeable shift for you. And especially because it's going into sunny Leo, it brings a lot of wonderful happiness. So, this is a year where meaning becomes more important than momentum and alignment matters more than options. So let's kind of get into it. Let's go over the big picture on why 2026 is different. So, in astrology, when outer planets like Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn, when they change houses or when they change signs, they don't just influence events, they reshape your inner framework. So in 2026, you're seeing Uranus in your seventh house of relationships. You're seeing Neptune and Saturn moving into your fifth house of joy, happiness, creativity, romance, and children. And then you have Jupiter, your ruling planet, moving from your eighth house of debts into your ninth house of growth. So, multiple eclipses are also activating this, meaning direction and your belief systems, they're getting an overhaul too. So, that's a lot of layers at once, right? So, when we put them all together, this combination tells us something pretty important. It says your happiness, your relationships, and your future direction are no longer separate topics, they're becoming one integrated story. So, let's start with relationship, okay? And Uranus going through that seventh house. Now, it takes 80 years for Uranus to go around the sun, where we take 365 days. So, when Uranus moves into a house or when it moves into a sign, it stays there for 7 or 8 years and it makes a big dramatic impact. Uranus is the planet that does unexpected things. And so in astrology, it carries with it that same energy. It wants to move us into authenticity and freedom, it wants us to embrace our uniqueness. Uranus is a very unique planet, I tell you what. So, when it comes in, it may abruptly shift things. And, uh, Uranus, I guess it's the planet of awakening, beyond just kind of disruption. It's truth and it's freedom. And in 2026, Uranus is settling into Gemini. So that's your seventh house of relationships, partnerships, agreements, both romantic and professional. So this is that 7 year cycle I was telling you about. And over this time, you are going to be redefining what partnership looks like, what it even means to you, and how you come out in relationships. You may crave more intellectual connection, honesty, space, authenticity in your relationships. Anything that feels stale, restrictive, or scripted may suddenly feel unbearable to you. And for some Sagittarians, this brings unexpected beginnings. Meeting people who challenge you, challenge your thinking and your open mind. For others, it may bring endings, especially in those relationships that limit your growth or silence your voice. So, what's important to understand is that Uranus doesn't come in to destroy for chaos sake. It liberates us where we've been trapped, from where we felt restricted and where we no longer can grow. So even within long-term partnerships, this energy can manifest as needing more independence, separate interests, new ways of relating that honor both closeness and freedom. So now now we're moving on to Neptune and Saturn, and they're going to be hanging out in your fifth house now. This is a pretty big one. This is one of the most important shifts of 2026 for everybody. So as Neptune and Saturn move into Aries, This is a 230-year cycle and a 30-year cycle, those two planets. So this is pretty big. Now, in your fifth house, it rules joy, creativity, romance, passions, self-expression, and children. So let's kind of break it down here. Neptune is a long 14-year influence here. Neptune is a planet that dissolves boundaries and it asks you to dream, but also to surrender to illusions. So in the fifth house, Neptune invites you to reconnect with joy, your imagination, and your inspiration, but only if it's authentic. So if you've been chasing happiness in ways that don't necessarily really truly fulfill you, Neptune will gently remove that fantasy and take the wool off your eyes so you can see it for what it is. Now, Saturn, on the other hand, is here for just straight up honesty, right? It's here for about 2 years. Saturn takes 30 years to go around the sun. So it asks for responsibility, structure, and most of all, commitment. So together, Saturn and Neptune are saying, if you want happiness, you must choose it and commit to it, right? This could look like taking on creative projects seriously or choosing romance intentionally rather than passively, committing to fun instead of postponing it, committing to a relationship instead of dilly-dallying, um, maybe making decisions around children or parenting, um, accepting the responsibilities that come with love and creativity. For some Sagittarians, Neptune and Saturn moving in, it marks the beginning of parenthood. So for others, it's maybe the maturity of some passionate creative projects that they've been waiting to bring out or to be taken seriously. So that's pretty big. Now let's move on to your money sectors. For the first half of 2026, Jupiter moves through Cancer. So that's going to be your eighth house of debts, right? That's the debt that you owe to others. That's the money that your partner makes. That's inheritance from other people, investments, business partnerships, house of death, trauma, crisis, loss, energetic intimacy, long-term security. Anyway, whatever. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. And so this year, as Jupiter comes through, your financial story may grow for better or worse, depending on how you consciously work with it. Some Sagittarians may see increased income through their partner or increased income through shared ventures with others, financial support from a family member, what's the word I'm looking for? Inheritance, opportunities to invest or refinance, um, but also looking at the larger debts that need to be managed. So the lesson here is leverage, using resources to build long-term stability rather than short-term gratification. So Mercury spends an extended period here while it retrogrades. So there's a lot of looking to the past that's encouraging you to learn, to ask questions, to revise agreements, get clear about money decisions before moving forward. Now let's look at Jupiter moving into Leo and what that means for you. So on June 30th, we've got your ruling planet moving into Leo, and that activates your ninth house. This is huge for Sagittarius. The ninth house is what Sagittarius naturally rules. So that's travel, higher learning, teaching, writing, publishing, spirituality, philosophy, the search for the bigger meaning in life. And this, my friend, is where you thrive. So when Jupiter comes home to your ninth house, life expands outward. You may feel restless, inspired, curious, hungry for new adventures and new experiences. And this is a year-long invitation to travel with purpose, to study or to teach, to share your wisdom, to explore spiritual or philosophical truths, say yes to growth. This is also where the eclipses are lighting up, so they may activate shifts in your belief systems in general, revealing that some dreams no longer resonate the way they used to. It'll show you the belief systems that you have in religion, and in yourself. Um, Eclipses have a way of doing that, right? They show us where things are outdated and no longer work. And the eclipses in 2026 act like cosmic checkpoints. They may bring sudden endings or beginnings related to that ninth house theme of education, travel, belief systems, direction, purpose. Some plans dissolve not because they failed, but because you've outgrown them and you need to go higher and bigger. Trust redirection if you get redirected in any area of your life that you once thought was a dream. Now, Sagittarius, 2026 is a year where freedom stops being about running and it starts being about choosing happiness, choosing joy, choosing meaning, and relationships and dreams that grow with you. If you want to break down a little bit more, I would say check out your sun, your moon, and your rising signs, um, and see how this plays out in your personal chart. But if you want even more detailed information, I would reach out for a reading to a wonderful astrologer like myself. I have a link below where you can book a reading with me. We can do that by Zoom or FaceTime or what have you. Um, and really see where this is impacting you. If you're thinking about learning more about astrology and how that works with your birth chart and how to really encompass those energies, I also have a book. I have a link below for my 2026 astrology workbook that I've created. It's got a 101 astrology book at the beginning, tells you how to find these things in your birth chart. Then we go month by month and we talk about the different moon cycles that are happening, the different eclipses, finding where it happens in your specific chart, and then some journal prompts to really help you embody the energy and the new beginnings that 2026 have in store. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.